AM Huntsville, broadcasting live from the Wiesner Huntsville studios. We are your hometown radio station, playing today's best country and all your favorites. 101.7 KSAM.
It's the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Now, here's Carlos Zimmerman and Brian Adams.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, man.
Welcome back to the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live from Chick-fil-A, presented by Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance. I'm your host, Carlos Zimmerman. Glad you're with us tonight. Wow, what a crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, no doubt.
Welcome tonight. We got some laundry to take care of before we get underway this evening. First, before we get started, want to welcome back my man, Brian Adams here. Y'all give it up for him. Welcome him back to the show.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Absolutely glad to have you. Well, if you haven't heard the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, that has turned head coach Rodney Southern's world upside down, that's used his words, not mine. The game has been moved to tomorrow because of the weather that is expected on Friday. Same time, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. We go live at 7 o'clock with the Advantage Specialties countdown to kickoff. Should be a good one tomorrow against the Brenham Cubs. All right, and one more piece of laundry I have to get out of the way. This is a flag that we are going to be giving away at the end of the season. It is signed by the entire team, minus JT Kroll. We will get that signature on there. But if you want a chance to win this flag when we do the drawing at the end of the year, the box is right over here to our right. And my general manager, Tim Johnson, will do his impression of Vanna White and show the box off. Come on, fill out your information, and you will be entered to win this flag at the end of the season. All right, I think I got all the laundry out of the way, and now we can start the show. Y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern, who's joining us once again here tonight. Coach, how are you?
Well, I'm okay, I guess. I don't know, from 2 o'clock today or 2:30 today till the end of practice.
Well, your demeanor's definitely changed
Our
since
world
I saw
changed a little bit, but I talked to Coach Youngs earlier in the week, and then we talked again today, and there's several issues. Number one, the weather tomorrow or Friday night's supposed to be really bad all the way up to kickoff. The other issue that they face, kind of like we face at times, is Blinn College plays there on Saturday. So if we had to come back on Saturday, we would have to go back at probably 7 or 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. And knowing what we've got to do the following week as well, we just didn't feel like that was number one, that's not good for his group of kids or our group of kids in that situation. So the weather's supposed to be beautiful tomorrow night. The negative of it was, now what do we do with our JV and our sub-varsities? We have moved them to Saturday. The good thing with that is both Brenham's freshmen and JV are coming to us. So we're going to play our freshmen at 10 o'clock Saturday morning at our field, and then we'll play the JV. It's scheduled at noon, but we'll play it 10 minutes after the freshmen finish. So we'll still get to, number one, get those games in because those kids need to play. They've practiced all week, and, just to not be able to do that was not going to be a good thing, and he feels the same way I do about that. So, and then, of course, we had to get word out to all the other participants, band, cheer, dance, all those people that are involved. They also have a ceremony that they were doing Friday night that they didn't want to do it in the rain, obviously, so they've moved that ceremony to tomorrow night. So it'll actually end up being good for both teams, and obviously this game is huge for us. It's huge for them. If they beat us, obviously they're in a position to play for a district championship. If we take care of business and beat them, then we've got an opportunity to finish out on a very positive note and finish as high as second in the district and host a playoff game. So there's a lot riding on tomorrow night, and in this case, bad weather, warming up in bad weather, and it's not good for anybody, fans, band, anybody. So I'm glad he was in agreement because obviously the game is at his place, so he kind of has the final say in it. But, when we've done this before and we – knock on wood, the outcome is hopefully better. We did this with Fort Bend Marshall several years ago with the same situation happening and played pretty dang well. So hopefully our kids will respond tomorrow night.
All right, you heard it there from Coach, and that's basically your opening statement right there, so we'll dive right into it. Coach, a tough ball game against Lake Creek, now one of the, if not the number one team in the state at 5A Division II. As you said to me this morning, just what could have been done differently to try and reverse the outcome?
Well, I think this is one of those games where, and I've been doing this long enough, they're better than us, and they were better than us the other night. And, sometimes head coaches don't want to admit it or don't want to say that another team's better than you. They're ranked number 1 in the state right now in Division II, and I didn't see, and I don't know if our coaching staff saw a weakness from top to bottom. Their kicking game's solid. Their offense has been solid, and obviously the big running back was a factor in the game. He's been a factor in every game that they've played. Defensively, they do some things that you feel like you could take advantage of, and we took advantage of some of them. We just didn't score enough points. But they're a good football team, and they've been good all year, and they've been consistently getting better, and they beat us.
Coach, for you guys offensively, a big bright spot towards the end of the ballgame, Keyron Lee bringing in your lone score of the ball game. Looks like he'll be the primary ball carrier for you coming up tomorrow. What stood about him last week, and what are you going to be looking at him going forward?
Well, Braylon, and that hurt us when Braylon went down because it took away some of the two-back stuff that we had obviously repped during the week. And Braylon had a breakout game the week before. So, that definitely hurt us. And hopefully he will be back a week from now. But, Keyron's done it before. He's done it in big games before. And we will adjust and do what we got to do in terms of play calling and the things that we got to do. But Keyron's carried the load before.
Hey, Coach, talking about that game against Lake Creek, they were pretty solid on the offensive side of the ball. Your defense kind of wear down a little bit towards the end of that ball game, and what were some of your bright spots that you saw defensively?
Well, I thought our two defensive ends have continued to get better. And when I say two, there's 4 guys playing those 2 spots. I think they've gotten better and better every week. Now, they were playing probably the second best, I think, the second best O-line we've seen. We saw one better than that, I think, in Clear Springs. Their 5, I think, were pretty dang good. But, the right tackle for Lake Creek is much bigger and stronger than he looks because he's not a typical-looking O-lineman. He's listed at 6'3", and he's probably 275. But I joke with guys, when an offensive lineman has a cutoff shirt on and there's not a belly hanging out, you kind of get nervous about that. So, he was a good football player, but the running back is, and the quarterback, and the quarterback doesn't get enough credit because the running back, made enough plays in our game and made enough plays in the previous games. The quarterback probably doesn't get enough credit, and their backup quarterback, number 4, is probably a better athlete than their starter and will be their guy next year. So, we played, to me, in situations we didn't get off the field defensively, and good teams are going to score points on you. Now, the disappointing play was obviously the situation when we had them 3rd and 7 or 8 and on the 11-yard line, and they had a penalty and we had an option to make it 4th down. Whether you call it analytics or whatever you call it, if it's 4th down on the 11-yard line, you assume, which you shouldn't assume, but that they would punt the football there, and obviously they broke a long run there that was kind of a backbreaker because they scored there, and then obviously they got the opening drive of the second half. That situation defensively, when we're not scoring points and we can't get off the field, then that's going to be a bad night either way.
Coach, Jawan has really held his own despite the score from that ball game, especially on Friday. What have you liked out of Jawan since he's moved to the starting role?
Well, Jawan's a football player. I think, and I've always had a pretty good relationship with Jawan. I think Jawan could play 5 or 6 positions. He obviously can play running back. He could play quarterback. He could play receiver. You could put him on defense, and I think he could play 2 or 3 places defensively. But he's got to continue to get better offensively. And obviously, when you take away a facet that we lost the other night when Braylon went down, it doesn't change it, but it does change it a little bit. And obviously, the run game becomes less effective because now you're just dealing with a quarterback and a running back versus 2 backs back there. And that situation was not the difference in the game. But, I think Jawan will continue to get better every week. And, and he's healthy. That's probably the biggest thing.
Coach, special teams is a major part of the football game. It seems like the special teams for the Hornets this year has had their struggles. And the last couple of games, you know, including this past game, they were struggling a little bit. What do you see, what do your coaches see that they need to do to adjust some of that play?
Well, you know, I thought the way we adjusted our punt game, I mean, Juwan averaged, I think, 38 or 39 yards a punt the other night because we're doing a little bit of hopefully an element of surprise and creating a problem for people. You know, our kickoff and kickoff return has been decent. The other night, their kicker, I think, is the best kicker in the district. The concern going into the other night, and we repped it all week, was their kicker had onsided the ball against everybody. He had pooched the ball against everybody. He had kicked the ball out of the back of the end zone. So, you know, you're defending 50 yards of field and trying to figure out, plus get yourself in position. You know, the week before he onside kicked 3 out of 3, and they got all 3 of them. So when you're trying to prepare for all of those things that could happen, and then they don't happen, he kicked the ball deep most of the time. So, you know, overall, I don't think those teams in any situation the other night were glaringly bad that hurt us. Now, obviously, I'd love to run every kickoff back for a touchdown, but you know, there are some big plays that are going to happen in games, and special teams becomes a factor, but it's also, at times, it's a small part of the game, too. When we can't get first downs, yeah, your special team's not going to look good either.
Right.
Coach, we saw some of the younger players make some big plays Friday night. Cody Hager, you just called him up last week. He got a sack in the late going. Tyler Pomeroy was a big force on the defense, just to name a couple of them. And it bodes well for the future of your defense. And what did you like out of them?
Well, I thought, you know, we had talked about Cody a couple times, and he's done a good job on our JV, and that's a group, and you know, a lot of coaches use them as a scout team, and that's it. You know, our JV gets time in the mornings. They get time with offensive coaches and defensive coaches. So, you know, we coach those kids because you hope that's your future. Now, whether they come to the JV as a freshman or a sophomore, or, you know, even if they play as a junior on JV, you know, those kids get coached. So Cody's been coached just like our varsity defensive ends have been coached. And Cody's grown as we've gone through the year. Now, obviously, they don't gain 30 or 40 pounds, but he's gotten bigger and stronger. I even commented to the coaches the other day when we called timeout once the other night, and him and Zach and Sakari were standing side by side, and they're almost identical size-wise now. So, but obviously, when you look at the number of sophomores and juniors and guys that we've got that are playing significant parts in our offense, defense, and special teams, it bodes well for what could happen a year from now and even 2 years from now.
Coach, before we step aside and take a break, final takeaways from the Lake Creek ball game.
Well, they were what I thought they were from a talent standpoint. I told Coach Kennedy before the game, he and I have known each other all the way back to the days when I was the defense coordinator in Coppers Cove and he was the defense coordinator at the Woodlands, and we played them 2 or 3 times. He knows he's got a very special group, you know, and I feel like, and he asked me multiple times in 2018 and 19, he actually came and visited with us because he knew what he was potentially trying to build there. And, you know, and we had that from a talent standpoint, and I think they're a very talented team. Somebody that has got tremendous speed that can get on the edge is going to give them some problems, but not everybody's got that. So they're going to have opportunities. Now, at some point, they'll run into Fort Bend Marshall, and we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look ahead to the ball game tomorrow, but against the Brenham Cubs. So stick around, folks. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A, presented by Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes is your go-to agent in Walker County for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has you covered. Call 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting underwriting requirements.
Caught the Ford fever? Then head to Bill Fick Ford in Huntsville for the best customer service and best deal on your new Ford. Now's a great time to check out our remaining 2022 Ford F-Series trucks and fuel-efficient Ford SUVs while they last. And if you don't see what you want on the lot, we'll help you build the 2023 truck of your dreams, and you'll still get a no-bull deal. Stop in today and see for yourself why so many folks buy at Bill Fick Ford, or check us out online at BillFickFordHuntsville.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A. How we doing tonight? Man, what a crowd. Man, I'm loving this.
Good crowd, isn't it?
Absolutely. Glad you're with us here tonight. If you're just joining us, we're talking with head coach Rodney Southern. We took a look back at the ball game with Lake Creek. Now to look ahead to the ball game tomorrow evening with the Brenham Cubs. Coach, I know the dynamic has shifted a little bit now, but how have things been in practice this week in preparation for the Cubs?
Well, I think they've been good, and obviously today was kind of a adjust on the fly. We had to do a couple things a little bit different. We normally watch about 15 minutes of kick and film Wednesday before practice. We used that time to do some other things outside, and we'll pick up that kick and film in the morning and get our normal routine. So I told them today, tomorrow becomes Friday, and then Friday becomes Saturday, and then Saturday becomes whatever day of the week it is at that point.
Monday.
It'll be a Thursday, I guess. But, you have to adjust, and we try to limit with our practice time. Our last day of prep work is going to have a 2-minute drill. It's going to have an overtime drill. It's going to have some phase of a passing game, whether it's team pass or 7-on-7, where we can kind of finalize the things that we need to finalize and say, okay, this is what we're carrying into a Thursday or a Friday in this case, or a Thursday in this case. So, practice has been good. Now we're also in week. If you look at it from the start of August, this is week 13 practicing. So, you've got to look at what you do and try to be as productive, but yet still not add any time if you can help adding time. But we've been in the weight room. We've done all the things that we normally do through a week. And tomorrow would have been a kick the field situation where we would put our kids in a lot of different things, last play of the game, last play of the half, things like that. But we'll cover all that in the morning.
Coach, looking at Brenham on the year, they are 4-0 in district play. 2 convincing wins over Rudder and Montgomery, but 2 rather closer games against Randall and Lamar Consolidated. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's kind of unique. Our district, I think, if you take Lake Creek out, our district to me is very, very similar. Brenham is probably a little bit like Lamar Consolidated. They've got a few more seniors than the majority of us do, but they're going to dress 2 freshmen tomorrow night. They're dressing, I think, 8 underclassmen that have some factor in the game. They're not playing every down, all of them, and obviously I don't know what the 2 freshmen are going to do because we haven't seen them on film. Now they've got some young guys. Their quarterback is, again, kind of like Lake Creek's guy. I think their quarterback kind of drives what they do offensively. So, you look at the scores in games, and some of that I think surprisingly is, are they on the road or are they at home? They play Belton in Brenham and beat them 38-7. They play Bryan in Bryan and lose 55-43, I think was what the final was. So, it's really hard to read. Now, the other thing with this game is this years ago here was a tremendous rival from what, we've only played them twice in the 9 years that we've been here. So, but our kids have also played these guys as 7th and 8th graders because they're in our junior high district. So they know a lot of these kids, and those kids obviously probably know a lot of our kids. So it's really hard when you watch all of the games we have on them. It's really hard to put your finger, or to me it is, to put your finger on, okay, why did they do this in this game but not in this game? I think Lamar Consolidated's got a pretty good defensive front that gave them problems. I think if you look at Montgomery, they jumped on Montgomery early, and Montgomery turned it over a couple times in critical situations. So there's reasons if you wanted to put your finger on it, but I think if you take Lake Creek out of our district, I think anybody in our district on any night could beat the other teams.
Coach, going off that, what adjustments are you looking to make in all 3 phases to try to counteract what the Cubs will going to do tomorrow night?
Well, you know, the biggest thing for us, number one, is we can't give up the big plays. You know, and we've talked about that at times defensively. We don't get off the field on third down. And offensively, you got to score points. You know, we dropped 6 or 7 passes the other night. We had some passes that were high. We had some passes that were underthrown. Then we have a running back get hurt. So you have some factors that you wish you could just say, okay, we're going to fix all that. But throwing and catching is throwing and catching. So, but we've got to score points. You can't go into a game and, you know, and even in this game, we can't kick a bunch of field goals. We need to score points. And that requires execution. And for us to be successful, we're going to have to run the ball. I mean, we're not dynamic enough in the passing game right now to say we're going to throw it 45, 50 times. So we've got to do those other things, and then we've got to make a play or two in the special teams that change the momentum of a game.
Coach, you touched on it, but you keep looking at your key playmakers on offense. Of course, Jawan Giddens at the helm at the quarterback. Now you have Kieran Lee in the backfield again, and then Matthew Tatum, who we'll have on the show tonight. He's been a leader on the receiving end. That's going to be a trio to watch, and what more specifically are you going to need out of those three?
Well, obviously Matthew's done a good job of getting us first downs. You know, he got a big first down the other night when we had a 4th and I think it was 4th and 7 or 8, and you know, and he catches the ball and gets to the 1 yard line. But we got to, in that situation, we got to get points after that, and we didn't. Obviously, Jawan's got to do the things that we're going to ask him to do from a quarterback position, whether it's throwing or running. You know, he's going to have to use his legs some in this game. Because I think they're going to come after us probably a little more than they have in some other games. And I may be wrong, but I look and say, if I knew your guys weren't making big plays down the field, I'm going to blitz you and come after you and try to disrupt your run game enough that we get you in 2nd and long, 3rd and long. So we've got to avoid that as much as we can. But, you know, we know what our limitations are, and we know what the ball's got to go through a certain group of people, and our O-line's done a pretty consistent job all year long. So we'll continue to lean on those guys, but when we get in those critical situations, especially, you know, and we did red zone yesterday, you know, we got to get points.
Coach, flipping over now to the defense, on all three fronts, you guys have had some great plays really across the board this season. The D-line's been bringing good pressure. Since you brought up Sakari, he's been great, and Zach Moss and Jadarius Smith have come into their own. Your linebackers, Justin Angstad, and then a bright and up-and-coming star, Shiloh Jones. They've made plays. And then in the secondary, Cole Schroeder and J-Bug, they have been clutch. How do they keep this pace up?
Well, I think the consistency of what we're trying to do offensively and defensively has just got to continue to improve. And I think our staff's done a great job with those guys understanding this is what's going to happen tonight. Now, we all know there's going to be situations where people are, okay, we've added whatever they've added. There's no way to know that till it happens or until you see it. But most of the time, a defensive group, you're going to go back offensively, and you got 6 or 8 run plays, and you may have 5 to whatever number of pass plays that are kind of your bread and butter that you're going to run every week. Now, you may tweak them, so we've got to make sure we can handle the things that they do well, which they run the ball effectively. The quarterback's athletic enough to hurt you when he does get out of the pocket, and he's not afraid periodically to raise up and throw a 9 route, which, you know, they hit Lake Creek they hit Lamar Consolidated on one, they hit Montgomery on a big one, and you know, when you do that, that's where you guys got to go make a play and get them in 2nd long or 3rd and long or whatever the situation is.
Coach, are there any players who we normally see out there? Are they going to be in limited action?
No, I mean, obviously Braylon's not going to play. His ankles, he's done therapy and done everything that he needs to do. But, you know, obviously he's where he and how it happened, he's not going to be able to play. Shiloh's going to have a cast on his hand because he did some stuff to his hand, but he'll play. It's just going to look funny because it's going to have a club and a pad on it. But the rest of the guys are, you know, this time of year you're always banged up and a little bit aching, but you know, the rest of them are going to tough it out, and they're going to play.
Coach, to wrap it up, there's a lot of playoff implications riding on this game. I know it's not too far in the front of your mind, but if you win and Montgomery loses to Lamar Consolidated and Randall loses to Rudder, you clinch a playoff spot with 1 game remaining. Keys to handling your business tomorrow.
Well, adapting to the schedule, which, I told them today what we'll do is tomorrow is actually Friday. It's just going to be Friday on Thursday. So we'll do our normal routine. We'll leave at our normal time and try to get everything as normal. And when we discussed it today, normally when you play a Thursday, a lot of people want to play at 7. He did not want to, which I was fine with, because now our routine can be exactly like a Friday night, which for young kids, routine, and especially in games where there's a lot riding on it, routine is usually the best thing.
All right, Coach, you heard it from the coach. All right, y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern here joining us this evening on the show. Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to step aside and take a break, and when we come back, we will roll into the player segments. Normally we go offense first, but I'm going to flip it up tonight. Starting us off will be from the defense. In the secondary, Cole Schroeder joins us next here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A.
Bank with confidence with the hometown bank, First National Bank of Huntsville. Our bank lobbies are open, and we also have 3 drive-through locations, multiple ATMs, telephone banking, plus online and mobile banking options, all available for your safety and convenience. For over 130 years, our focus has always been about the great people in our community. As Huntsville's only locally owned community bank, you can trust First National Bank of Huntsville to be your financial partner today and for future generations.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's always a better deal at Dale's Auto Sales. Here's one of their happy customers.
Hey guys, so I just got finished purchasing my 3rd vehicle over here at Dale's Auto Sales here in Huntsville, Texas. They've done great for all the way from the down payment to getting me financed. And don't forget guys, it's always a better deal here at Dale's Auto in Huntsville.
Pick from a variety of quality vehicles all in one place. Family owned and operated since 1970. Dale's Auto Sales in Huntsville, under the big yellow sign on 11th Street. It's a better deal at Dale's in Huntsville.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. How y'all doing tonight? Y'all feeling good?
Chick-fil-A.
Enjoying this gorgeous weather that we've been having. I know Friday will be a bit of a damper. Again, I want to remind you, we have got the sign flag here that we're giving away at the end of the season. If you haven't already, put your name and information in the box and enter for your chance to win. Before we move on here and chat with Mr. Cole Schroeder, I want to give some shout-outs tonight. I see some Huntsville volleyball folks in the house tonight, and they clinched a spot into the playoffs.
All right.
Last night with a 5-set win over Porter. Big shout-out to you guys. And awesome. I have a couple of colleagues of mine from Sam Houston State University this evening, Mr. Christopher Martins and Kevin Castro. They're trying to ignore me back over there, but thanks for coming and joining us tonight, guys. They do great work over there at the Bearcat Sports Network. All right, let's get back into it. And welcoming to the show for the first time is from the safety position, Cole Schroeder. Y'all give it up for Cole here tonight. Cole, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great.
Good. Glad to have you on the show tonight. So, how you been enjoying your junior year so far?
It's been really good. I've been dreaming about being on varsity since I've been little, so, it's been everything.
There you go. So, let's talk about that a little bit. What got you into playing the sport of football? I know your you kind of grew up with it, but, what got you into it?
Yeah, I've been around it my whole life, so it'd be kind of sacrilegious if I didn't play, and I've loved it.
If you love something, you'll never feel like it's a job or something.
Exactly.
So, why a position like safety? It's an interesting position. So, what made you push towards that?
My brother played it, and I've always wanted to be better than him, and I like going down to hit, and it's fun. So. What's better?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What's better? Do you have a favorite memory from just, growing up, playing football, maybe with your brother, tussling with dad in the yard?
Yeah, me and my brother, with his friend, we used to just play in the yard, so it was always fun. They would just beat me up, basically, but it was fun.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all.
So on Friday, you dealt with number 21 for Lake Creek. And for a majority of the night, while keeping an eye on their QB as well, you held your own. What was it like from your point of view playing against 21 on Friday?
He's a big, powerful running back, so the first time I had to go against him, I realized he gets really low, and so I had to try to adjust with that and try to get lower or try to just hold on to him as any way I could.
Did your dad give you some pointers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I bet so.
That's good. Let me ask you this. What's been one of the more challenging things on the field for you so far this year that you've gone through and you've been able to overcome?
Probably just me being undersized. I've had to find ways to either bring a person down or play the ball through someone's hand, a big receiver or something, and just try to use my speed and stuff to get around certain blocks and whatnot.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Now, let me ask you this. What's really been the best piece of advice that someone has given you ever, and who was it that said it to you?
I can't remember specific quotes and stuff, but when Shep Shepard came to our high school, he provided us with really good information that you can live your life with and play football and use in everything you do.
There you go. That's good. Now, this question was probably going to pop up at some point. Now, you have your dad on the coaching staff. Must be interesting, really intriguing to have a parent on the coaching staff, even though he's on the offensive side of the ball. What have you learned most from your dad through this experience playing football?
Through all my starting football in middle school and stuff, and freshman year he was defense, so I got to learn all my basics through him, and he did really well teaching me how to play, and it's been really nice.
See, there you go, Scott. Got it. All right, now Coach Brazil is your safeties coach. What's it been like him having as your safeties coach?
Oh, I love Coach Brazil. He knows when to coach us, and he knows when to be a friend, basically, and just he's a good guy.
Good. Now, I was going to say something about the head honcho, but I can't see him. I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's trying to hide from me. I know what he's trying to do. But what's it been like to have head coach Rodney Southern as your coach?
It's been good. He gives really good pep talks, and he pushes us hard, and that's what you need in a head coach at that.
Okay, he was hiding in the bathroom, so that's why he was trying to. He knew the timing of when I was going to ask that question.
Welcome back, Coach.
All right, what are you looking forward to as you guys battle Brenham tomorrow?
I'm looking for a win, we secure our playoff spot, and hoping to have another big game, and just provide the team with what I can do best.
There you go.
So, Cole, is there anything that stood out to you on film looking at the Brenham Cubs?
Like Coach Southern said, their QB, he's a real shifty guy, and he can make something out of nothing sometimes. So we'll have to keep him contained, keep an eye on him, and they have a really tall receiver. We'll have to protect that, but other than that, I think we should be good.
Now, the prospect of playing in the playoffs, Cole, it's starting to become more and more possible, especially if you guys win a couple other games fall your way on Friday night. What would that mean to you as a player, just to be able to play in the postseason?
That's just the dream. Just keep going, keep playing, especially in the playoffs, and that's the most intense games usually. So, it's going to be exciting.
All right, I've been waiting to talk about this with you for a good while. I want to talk about that block kick that you had against Rudder. You didn't block it, of course, but, you attempted to run it back. Typically in those situations, you just, kind of get down at the end of a half and then not try to run it. But you took a shot at it and almost took it all the way back. What was going through your mind as that play progressed?
That game I wasn't having a lot of action, and I saw the ball on the ground, saw the left sideline kind of open, so I just picked it up and tried to go. Yes, sir.
There you go. And just had one guy.
Yeah.
One guy to beat.
Yeah.
You think you could have beat him, or you just needed that extra block?
I was tired.
You run out of gas? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I maybe one more block, and I could have got it.
It takes a lot cutting back and trying to get around other guys, so, that's good. All right, I'm going to throw some rapid fire your way. Do you have a pregame routine that you go through before you head out on the field?
Just listen to music, lock in, think about scenarios that could go on during the game, and that's basically it.
Now, this isn't going to matter much anymore. I was going to ask this knowing that we were going to be playing Friday, and at least when I wrote this question. Do you prefer to play in the rain, or do you rather it be just dry as can be?
I haven't got to play in the rain yet, but I'm sure it would be kind of fun. But the dry games are always better for our offense and for just everyone's ball game, it seems to be better.
Mm-hmm. Who's a big inspiration for you in your life?
I'd say my dad and my brother. They've always pushed me and wanted me to be the best person I can be. And, yeah.
Good. That's very good. Now you mentioned you like listening to music before the game. What kind of music?
I'll either listen to like rap or classic rock or something.
Ooh, you're speaking my language now.
Something along those lines.
What's your favorite classic rock band?
Is Fleetwood Mac?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
I've seen them. They're good.
Yeah. Very
good
much
choice.
So. Fleetwood Mac. Interesting. That's interesting. Are the slow side of them, or just the more rockish side, like the Chain, or?
Yeah, the Chain.
There you go. There you go. Very good song. Raising them right. Raising them very right. All right. If there was another position other than safety, what would you play and why?
DN.
DN.
Because I feel like that'd be really fun. Trying to go sack the quarterback. And whatnot.
I mean, hey, you get those times opportunities on safety blitzes, but I know those are low percentage.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Ryan?
So do you have one of the things I wanted to say, and I know you've got your mom and dad, your grandparents are here, and that is awesome. And I've talked to your grandparents in the past, and they keep up with you every week, and I know they kept up with your brother and everything else. What's fun about you, from my point of view, is you're a student of the game. And you've had to be, really, with your father being a coach. Does your father, after the ball games, like the next morning after you come back from practice, do y'all talk about what happened and do y'all go over things like that?
Yeah, sometimes we'll say what we could have done differently and say how we need to execute some things different. And but most of the time at home, he's my dad, and we keep the coaching stuff like at school usually.
Very cool. So a lot of people probably wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I do want to shout out your grandparents all the way from Illinois here,
awesome.
Making it here all the
Very
way down
cool.
to Huntsville, Texas. Absolutely. Glad y'all are here. All right, let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite meal that you like to have before a game or just a favorite food in general?
I mean, the chicken's really good that we get pregame at home. So
Everybody's laughing, man.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite pregame meal, but other than that, my favorite food is orange chicken from Panda Express. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's where you're going after the ball game.
Chick-fil-A.
You a gamer of any kind, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, what you into?
Yeah. Call of Duty, Madden. I'll play anything really.
There you go. You think you could be competitive at it?
I mostly just play for fun.
Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. Now, this next question's inspired. It was inspired to me to ask you this because I just got back from Utah with the Bearcats, and it was just absolutely gorgeous there. What's been your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Oh, this summer we went to Italy. We went to like the coast of it, and it was just beautiful. That's been my favorite place by far.
Good deal, man. It's the one continent I haven't been to yet. Is Europe. I need to go check it out. Do you have a favorite professional football team or a favorite college team that you like?
Cowboys.
It's okay. I'll let it slide. What about the college level? Is there anybody you like?
Longhorns.
Okay.
Hey. Texas teams.
Hey,
yeah.
hook them.
There we go.
They almost beat Oklahoma State. Almost did.
Yeah.
Almost did. Do you have a favorite non-football team?
Astros.
Good man. Hey, you can watch the game now. You can watch game one now.
That worked out kind of perfect, didn't it?
Yeah.
It really did. Do you have a favorite athlete?
Probably DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Because he's fast?
Yeah. Big dude.
Big dude. Really big dude.
Yeah.
Kind of an underwhelming year, but that's beside the point. You have a favorite subject that you have in school?
Culinary.
See, that's been a common answer now on the
We've
show.
heard that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, what do you like about it?
I mean, it's teaching us like real life skills, and it's fun. We do a lot of hands-on work, and it's a good time to communicate and be with your friends.
Good deal. All right, do you have any plans for after high school and for your career going forward?
Not really yet. I might want to. My brother studied abroad, and that he just had like the time of his life, so that might always be an option, but I don't really know yet.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. You got some time to figure it out. All right. Cole, before we let you go, anybody want to give a big shout-out to?
My whole family right there. My family watching in Illinois, and all my friends over there.
All right, there you have it.
And
Y'all give it up.
And Taco.
Taco. Yeah. All right, there you go. Y'all give it up for Cole Schroeder joining us tonight.
Good job.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
All right, joining us next, he was a guest on our very first edition of the show at the beginning of the year, and we'd like to welcome back wide receiver Matthew Tatum. He joins us after the break here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show.
This is Carlos Zimmerman with this week's edition of The Right Call, presented by Jeff Hitt Family Law. Sam Houston and Utah Tech went down to the wire last Saturday in St. George, Utah. On a potential game-winning drive for the Trailblazers, Bearcats co-defensive coordinators Joe Morris and Clayton Carlin made the right call to send out a blitz off the blind side edge, and Huntsville native Bryson Hayes ended Utah Tech's hope for a win.
As Cabalas drops back and looks to throw, Bryson Hayes with the big hit! It's a turnover on downs. The Huntsville native makes a huge play. Turnover on downs, and the Cats have it in the Utah Tech territory.
The Right Call is presented by Jeff Hitt Family Law.
Sometimes life throws you a curveball.
You're out!
When it does, make the right call. Jeff Hitt, local attorney with over 30 years of experience. Jeff Hitt will walk you through your options and represent your needs, protecting your future. Jeff Hitt is an expert in Texas child custody laws and knows how to protect you in a divorce or complicated family matter. Make the right call. Jeff Hitt, Family Law, at 936 Custody. That's 936-287-8639. 936 Custody.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. How y'all doing tonight? It's a gorgeous evening to be out here at Chick-fil-A. Carlos Zimmerman here alongside my main man, Brian Adams. And joining us now, like I said before the break, he was a guest on our very first show of the year, and he is back to talk with us again, wide receiver Matthew Tatum. Y'all give it up for Matthew tonight. Matthew, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Good stuff. Now, it's been a little bit since we've chatted with you. How's the season gone for you? It's your senior year. How's it gone?
Well, it hasn't been as good as I wanted it to, but it's been all right. I've been getting a lot of opportunities to show out, so that's all I can ask for.
Hey, there you go. You can't ask for much better than that. You've been hitting your stride as of late. I know the drops were a little bit of a problem at the beginning of the year, but, it's gotten better. And what's really helped you along the way to assist in that effort?
Every day after practice, I stay after and get throws in with either Austin or Jawan or even DeMarcus. So that helps. And also I kind of learned I don't always have to catch with my hands. Just catch the ball, and that's all that matters.
What was
Go ahead.
At the beginning of the season, what were some of the goals you set for yourself, and do you feel that you've achieved them to an extent given that you're still got more games to play?
Well, my goals were hopefully to get first team all-district and then have better stats than I did last year. I don't know about the first team all-district, but I do have better stats than I did last year. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You love to see it. What's really been your favorite moment so far from the season of playing ball?
Really, that fake punt that I ran against Clear Springs, that was really exciting and fun.
Outstanding.
I mean, fooled the mess out of me and you.
Well, I know. Everybody else there, too.
All right. No, it was a very electric play.
Yeah, it
very
was.
electric. All right, looking back at Lake Creed, a very tough outing for you guys offensively, but you had a big play at that one point in the ball game, and then you saw progress in the second half. I mean, what was it like from your perspective?
Really, just they played all man, so really it was basically just one-on-one every single play. So you just had to beat the guy that was in front of you, and I did that for the most part. There's a couple plays where they beat me, but I think I beat my man overall during the game.
Very good. Now, the dynamic has changed tremendously on this. Looking ahead to Brenham, which will be in about 24 hours or so from now. It's a big ball game. Is there anything that stood out to you on film that might present a challenge?
I mean, they run a lot of coverages, kind of. They'll play man-free, cover 2-man. They'll play cover 4, cover 3. So they play a lot of different stuff, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. So really our game plan should work against them, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Now, looking at this being your last season, correct me if I'm wrong, you were part of the 2020 playoff run?
I did. I was on the kickoff team during that.
But you were on the varsity roster during the playoff run?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, the prospect of returning to the playoffs in your senior season, that's starting to become more and more of a reality, especially if you guys win tomorrow night. What would that mean to you in your final season as a Hornet?
It would mean a lot. I really want to make playoffs. I want to win. I want to go to state. But we can just do what we have to do to win each game at a time. I'm just worried about Brenham right now. So.
Hey, that's very good. That's a good attitude to have. That's the right answer to that question. Looking back on your year, obviously you have more time to think about this. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I hope to leave behind just a good legacy for all the Tatums, really, and short white receivers. So.
I got nothing on that. That's good. That's good. Next. Coach Parham, he's your receivers coach. You've had him through your time as a varsity player. What's some things you've learned from Coach Parham?
He teaches us a lot, but the thing about him, he's a pretty tough coach, but at the same time, like outside of the football field, he can be your friend, and he likes to joke around a lot. So I really like him as a coach.
That's good. That's good. What about Coach Southern?
I like him too. He's a good one too.
It's amazing. All the players like Coach Southern.
Yeah, that's good.
That is good.
You're doing something right, Coach. Doing something very right. All right, throw some rapid fire your way, Matthew. We've asked a couple of these before, but, it's been 2-3 months since we had you on. But I can't remember if you had a pregame routine or not before you go. You just go?
I really just listen to music, lock in. That's about it.
What kind of music?
Rap.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, who's been a really big inspiration for you in your life so far?
Really, like, just my whole immediate family, like my mom, my dad, and then my brothers, especially my brothers.
It's good. It's very good. All right, I asked you that. If there was another position other than wideout, now, hang on, before I ask this, you said kicker on the very first show that we had. I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not. Does that still stand?
Nah, I changed my mind. I think.
Come on, man. You admitted you wanted to be a kicker. It's okay.
I'll change my mind. That's my third option.
Okay.
My second option, my fourth. My second option would probably be like a middle linebacker or something, like the one that Lake Creek has. He was kind of like a QB spy kind of, so he doesn't really do anything, but like when the QB runs or like the running back runs, he's unblocked and he just gets like all the tackles. Or a safety.
Or a safety?
Yeah.
That would be your first option as a safety?
Yeah.
Okay. So kicker's the fourth option.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker's the second option.
No. Safety's the second.
Okay.
I switched them. Yeah.
So where's kicker again?
Fourth.
Fourth.
Yeah.
I need a spotting board for this. Goodness gracious. All right. Do you have a favorite food that you just love to enjoy and just eat it up?
Not really. My mom's spaghetti is pretty good. And she made enchiladas the other night. Those were pretty good, too.
That sounds good.
Well, there you go.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Good
all.
enchilada.
Yeah.
Are you a gamer?
Not really. I haven't played video games in a while, so.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure your parents would really appreciate that.
Well, I stay upstairs a lot and watching, like, NFL, though, so.
Okay. Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Watching game film. Now, I'll ask you this. I asked Cole this. What's been your favorite place that you ever traveled to?
This past summer, we also went overseas, but we went to Germany, though, so that was probably my favorite.
What'd you like about it?
Just, like, the culture and, like, the people there, they were really nice. A lot of them knew English, and they were great people, so that was probably one of my favorite things about it.
So do you have a professional football team that's your favorite?
The Cowboys.
Cowboys? Okay.
0 for 2.
Hey, real quick, I want to say something, man. And I don't remember what game it was. Help remind me, all right? You were fixing to receive a punt, and you got cut in half before you got that football. But I know – Montgomery, that's right. It was Montgomery. And you bounced right up.
Yeah.
And everybody was glad you did. Mm-hmm. But I also know you have some older brothers, and your father has been a long-time coach.
Mm-hmm.
So did practicing all those years growing up with your brothers, that help with some of that?
I mean, not really. It didn't really hurt. It might have looked worse than it actually was.
It did.
So.
It did. It did. But it was cool to see you get up, bounce up like that because, again, that was a heck of a hit.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show how tough you are. And everybody saw it, everybody knows it. So that's good.
It's good. Do you have a favorite college team you like to watch?
I really just like watching all the college teams, really. I don't really have a favorite. But right now, I'm rooting for Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm hopping on the bandwagon.
I'm sure
so.
you were very happy when they knocked down the Tide. So
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're kind of guy that just tries to have multiple games up on the screen at the same time and trying to follow all of them.
If there's one that's on commercial, I'll switch to another one or something like that.
Good deal. Do you have a favorite non-football team? Basketball, baseball?
Maybe the Mavericks.
Okay.
I like all the Dallas area teams.
I kind of got that vibe when you said the Cowboys, so nothing wrong with that. We'll talk later. Do you have a favorite athlete?
Probably Amari Cooper. He used to play for the Cowboys, but he runs really good routes. He doesn't really make super big plays, but he does his job. He catches the ball. So I really like that about Amari Cooper.
Now, I don't remember what you answered with this, and I think this started a weird trend of just weird subjects. What's your favorite subject in school?
Probably construction. That's my favorite class.
Okay. What do you like about it?
I mean, we're building houses for veterans right now.
Oh, awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
And you learn a lot, and we make mistakes, and so it teaches you, if you have a problem in your house or something, if you have a hole in the wall, we learned how to, fix that or something like that, so.
I got a hole in my apartment because I threw my phone through the wall after a ball game. You want to come help me fix that?
Are you available?
I mean, if you pay me.
Look at this. Already working it.
I'm not getting my security deposit back. All right. Do you have plans for after high school in your career?
As of right now, I want to go to play college or play football in college. If that doesn't happen, then I'll probably just go to Sam and go to school and hopefully be a coach someday.
Well, hey, if you go to Sam, we'd like to have you in the Bearcat family. Mm-hmm. All right. Matthew, before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My parents and my family and my teammates and all my friends.
All right. Thanks for coming back on the show. Y'all give him a round of applause. Matthew Tatum joining us tonight.
Good job, Matthew.
All right. The time is 6:52, so we have just enough time for Miss Casey Kroll to come on up and let us know what's going on in Hornet Nation. She joins us next when we come back here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show live from Chick-fil-A.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hi, folks. Clint Mack here with Wiesner in Huntsville. Do you need a new vehicle with great gas mileage? Do you want to save some money and not pay over MSRP or have to purchase the dealer add-ons? You need to come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line. Not only do we not charge over MSRP, but if you qualify for supplier discounts, we'll honor that. Teachers, first responders, and anyone else that might qualify for supplier discounts. Ask our sales consultant to look into it and see if your company qualifies. So if you want a great deal on a General Motors vehicle, come to Wiesner in Huntsville, where we are home of the bottom line.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, final segment on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Welcome back. All right, we have got the president of the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, Miss Casey Kroll. Y'all give it up for Mrs. Kroll.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us as always, Casey. All right, what's going down in Hornet Nation? I know we've had quite a shift in terms of ball games, but what's going on?
We can handle that.
Absolutely.
We're parents. We can handle anything, right? So now that everything has changed, Saturday, the quarterback club still will be taking care of the 7th and 8th graders over at Mance Park. We're still there. We're still going to pass out some food to the younger people. But we do need parent volunteers at the high school. Since we already had something scheduled, now we've got to work concession stand, not for 1 game, but 2 games. So if your kid is not playing, come help us out. When freshman's playing, JV, come help. When JV's playing, freshman parents, come help. We need all the help we can get right now. We also are working on our tailgate for November the 4th from 5 to 7 anyone is welcome to come and join us, have fun. We have a couple of volunteers, a couple of organizations that are going to join us. If you want to join us, reach out to me on Facebook, on Huntsville Hornet Football. There's a couple of different ones. It's the one with the picture of the Huntsville Hornet on it. Just reach out on there. Somebody will get with me and tell me, or you can message me on Facebook, Casey Kroll, Kasie Kroll.
There you go. Casey, for anyone that might be listening for the first time, what can they do to help y'all out?
We are always welcoming any parent, organizations, volunteers. We have meetings every Monday at 6 o'clock over at the field house, down in the film room. Come join us. We are working on several activities. We have the quarterback club will have the banquet on January the 12th. We are still needing ideas, help. We're still in the planning stages for that. We're also working on stuff for next year. So any input we can have. We're going to be having officers needed to be voted in after probably spring break. So we're losing some people. We're going to lose our treasurer. He has a senior this year, so we're going to need a treasurer. If y'all want to vote me out, y'all come join.
Nah, we would never vote you out.
I mean, if you have any question, the quarterback club is here for our young men and to help our coaches. We're just here to help the community, bring the community in to let us know what we're doing, what we can help with. And with the new stadium coming, we need as many volunteers as we can have.
You know, that's a good point, because there's so many things going on in Hornet Nation. I mean, obviously we're knee-deep in the football season and the stadium's coming along. All you folks out there listening that can hear us, we need your help, please. The quarterback club needs your help. They got games coming up this weekend. Please volunteer. You know, give 15 minutes of your time, 30 minutes, whatever you can do. Please, we need your help.
Yep, because we don't just have the high school. We have the junior high. They're still going to be going after the 4th. We still have a couple of games coming up. And some stuff we still don't know if it's scheduled or not yet. So as soon as everything starts falling into place, we're going to need some people involved. And football doesn't just end at the end of the season. Our guys still practice throughout the spring. We have spring football. We also help in other organizations. If somebody else says, hey, we need help, we try and help out as well. We're going to be doing some stuff to help with MASH coming up in December. So we're just trying to be a part of the community, and we want our gentlemen football players, you know, see what we can do and help us also be a part of the community.
Casey, thank y'all very much for what y'all do. Y'all give it up for Mrs. Casey Kroll tonight. Again, I want to remind you before y'all step out, you can still put your name in the drawing. We'll be taking names until the end of the season, and then on our final show, probably do a drawing for this flag. So, all right, before we go, as time is running short, quickly want to give you your broadcaster breakdown. Well, Brian, we're doing it tomorrow night, 24 hours from now. You and I will be in Brenham along with our sideline reporter, Luke Scott. What are you looking for out of that ball game?
Well, I think it's going to be an exciting ball game, and it's a very important ball game for the Hornets. They got to come out. They've got to play well. Brenham's going to be at home. They're going to have the home crowd there with them. I think if the Hornets play clean football, play Hornet football, it's going to be a great victory for the Hornets.
All right, there you have it. We go live with the Advantage Specialties countdown to kickoff at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Not Friday, tomorrow night. 7:30 kickoff live from Brenham. Brian, before we come off the air, I'm glad to have you back up here, my friend.
Glad to be back, Carlos. Thank you.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to having you back for the ball game tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff from Brenham. All right, that'll do it for the show this evening. Guys, thank y'all for coming out. What
Absolutely.
a crowd. This has been one of
Thank
our
you so
biggest
much.
crowds
Great
all
crowd.
season long. Thank y'all very much for coming. And on the count of 3, let's let the folks in Brenham know what we're going to be bringing to them tomorrow night. On the count of 3, give them one big Sting 'em Hornets. 1, 2, 3. That'll do it for the Coaches Show tonight. Thanks for joining us. And as always, have a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow night in Brenham. Good night and God bless.
This has been the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Hornet pride lives on KSAN.